guys hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a certain pride I take in being an artist, simply because I get to choose who I am and what I create. I'm a liberator, an agitator, a lover, a fighter, a manifester of magic and wonder, but most of all, I'm an agitator. We have this amazing ability to speak truth to power with our words, cameras, paintbrushes, with any medium we express our truths through. Agitation at its best presents itself as a catalyst that evokes the necessary response within us. That catalyst for me often comes in the form of a mirror. My reflection is constantly speaking to me, showing me things that I love about myself, flaws I'm not fond of, and more often than not, things that I neglect to acknowledge out of fear of how it may manifest in the world. Ironically, I only become present in entertaining my silence, and in that moment, fear has a subtle victory because of my unwillingness to do anything. Now I understand that I have a choice in these instances to submit to that fear, or to drive through that fear with an unwavering spirit. I'm able to champion this fear because my art compels me to, and I'm thrilled to see the world that lies beyond my comfort zone. This is a process I go through when I'm writing something that challenges the norm of my perspective, when I have to embody the entire being of a character on stage, and ultimately, I put myself through this trial continuously because I want to encourage you to build your life around what gives you courage. The great Nina Simone coined the phrase, "It is an artist's duty to reflect the times." I dare to say that artists and the masses should also be creating the times that they wish to live in. It is simply not enough to raise the mirror on the atrocities or moral conscience within America and the world at large without a collective effort to respond in action for the betterment of ourselves. I'm a firm believer that freedom cannot truly be freedom if it's only exclusive to one person or a certain group of people. Toni Morrison says if you're going to hold someone down, you're going to have to hold on by the other end of the chain. You are confined by your own repression. This indicates two things for me. Oppressing someone because you have power doesn't grant you dominion over them, it imprisons you. To liberate the oppressed is to liberate oneself. Those who are oppressed have a responsibility to fight the power for their power. We have to hold ourselves accountable to dismantling the system. We have to hold ourselves accountable to dismantling the institutions, culture, and school of thought that normalize and perpetuate sexism, racism, capitalism, homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia, the list goes on. We have to do the work that reshapes and truly define what safe spaces are. But if we ourselves carry malicious thought or intent, safety cannot exist anywhere. We are the system, and the revolution begins with an involution, a radical change within oneself that is expressed outwardly. We cannot confront fear or hate and overstand it with half-hearted convictions. I want you all to look in the mirror and ask yourselves this question. Is my comfort worth the cost of someone else's humanity, even if it be my own? Now I want you to sit with that question for a moment. I'm going to share a poem entitled Exodus 6, verse 66. The illustration that you'll see is drawn by my bro guy, Shaq Payne. I remember my first spotlight performance. I opened up for 13 of Nazareth. Before he closed out his set, he asked the audience, if you could say anything and the entire world was listening, what would you say? This poem is to pay homage to him and the inspiration that has brought me to this point. Exodus rose from the perils of stereotypic stitches, fancied the idea of protruding distorted riddles invisible to the naked eye, proceeded to make the mind just as bare, its identity unfitting to place anything upon it but a series of questions. Why are words only free in the realm of the psyche? How is perception proportional to words transcribed but never spoken? Who envisioned snaring humans based on color? On what spectrum does the eye transport the idea of dominance to the brain? Dominance cannot exist amongst creatures who are composed of gas, water, and land particles. They will fall to the very ground from which they rose. It's nature's form of checks and balances. What is intelligence? Why is it applied only for the measure of gaining security? Is security the zone in which one incurs behavior that implies safety exists? If so, it is a socially structured frame of thought, thoughts that inspire cubic pentameters, sophisticated syllables stressing the necessity to box in freedom. Freedom without a mind is anarchy. If thoughts become words that become actions that lead to habits that create character, who is fate? Why is free will holding destiny hostage? Why have humans written ransom notes to man-made configurations known as time and space? What currency does the speed of light travel on if they hope to gain anything? Where does pi end? It's a series of numbers based on the probability that you just might be listening to this poem in the right place at the right time. Where are you now? Is God male or female or too supreme to classify as either? How come the omega isn't praised as much as the alpha? Endings pave way to new beginnings, making God's measure of existence infinitely possible due to the relativity of time and space having no true place of origin. When does the mind accept imagination's invitation to wander without fear or curiosity killing the cat? Curiosity killed the cat because the cat never anticipated its own demise, but a cat has 9 lives. If God is love, love is the overflowing abundance to create and destroy with the proper care to ensure balance for all life. Does love travel at God's speed? God's speed exists between the points of life and death, interchangeable and simultaneously happening. Each moment is living proof that you died a second ago, reincarnated in a fixture of the present moment, reacting to your future self. Is compassion the act of compelling one to do what is right and just? Where do morals meet and cut even within a system programmed to do right when right is only just for the system? Morality is void in the face of institutionalized justice. It plays the fallacies of right and wrong to its advantage, never truly what is and what must be in order to create the most just solution. What is the function of who, manifesting the hows of what humans perceive as reality? Where does truth have a place in a world with such barriers? Are these thoughts what inspire paranoia, delusions, and partial beliefs that never coincide, pitting one against the other? The formation of mass genocide in the mind, people of all color, animals, spirits, and emotions? These entities were created to function for the greater good, a higher purpose equivalent to God's plan. Have humans confined themselves within labels and numbers to ward off the idea that self-identification is the only drug that isn't worth becoming addicted to? If so, the system is an act against God, an act against oneself, one's purpose, prolonging the inevitable, which ultimately results in the act of repetition in layman's terms, the life cycle. What life are you, the cat living in now? If fear is what compels you, freedom is non-existent. Therefore, God is inactive. If God is inactive, then you who have heard these words must awaken our love supreme. It all starts when you begin asking questions with no fear of seeking the answers. Tell me, where are you now? Thank you.